Welcome to Commander's Comments. I am your producer for the evening, Harrison, and allow me to introduce our Commander in Chief, Walter D. Donnie Kennedy.
Thank you, Harrison. I appreciate it so much. And as y'all know, Harrison is our Deputy Chief of Heritage Operation and our General Gopher also. So, Harrison, I appreciate you so much. Now, first thing first, happy April to every one of y'all. This month is our big celebration of Confederate History and Confederate Heritage Month. And we'll be talking a good bit about the things that the Sons of Confederate Veterans are doing right now this month to help to really celebrate Confederate history and Confederate heritage. Now, obviously, we do this 24/7. Moose, this is not promoting our heritage. It's not something we just do once a year, is it? I hear you and Connor twice every week on here doing this, and every member of the SCV in our camps and our divisions, we're pushing hard for this. But this is a special month, and we got some special things going on. Now, I've got a couple of gentlemen to help me here, and I want to introduce these three gentlemen. The first one I want to introduce is our distinguished Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief from Virginia, Tony Griffin. Tony is on, and Tony, glad to have you with us tonight.
I'm glad to be here.
All right, and then next from the great sovereign state of South Carolina, we have our Chief of Heritage Operation, Paul Graham. And Paul, we're happy to have you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, good. And then way down in the swamps, almost in New Orleans, we have Mr. Crawfish himself, Ron Kennedy, my aide-de-camp and general spare tire in case for some reason my internet fails me because we having some bad weather up here. Ron's going to MC and take over for us. And of course, he's got several things that he will be discussing. So first of all, let me go over some of the things that's going to be happening at national headquarters and in the SCV from now till, let's say till June. We're not going to go through the whole year. Let's say July. We'll go through the whole from now to July. Some of the highlights of the things going on. All right. April the 19th, the museum and grounds will be open at headquarters in Columbia, Tennessee. They have the Columbia Confederate History Day. It's a memorial service going to be held at Rose Hill Cemetery, and past Commander-in-Chief Jason Brochures will be the speaker there. As I said, the museum will be open from 11 to 4 that day, and so y'all come and take a look at what's going on at headquarters and go to the memorial service. All right, on May the 3rd, headquarters and museum and Elm Springs will be open again that weekend. That is for our annual Southern Pilgrimage, and we're having a Southern Showdown car show also. So we'll be there for the pilgrimage. We've got a car show. Museum is going to be open. Elm Springs open. We have a guest speaker coming all the way from the swamps of Louisiana to speak to us, Ron Kennedy. If the hurricanes don't come in and keep him boxed in down in the lowlands of Louisiana, we'll have him as a speaker. That's May the 3rd. Then on June the 28th, there's a, quote, whiskey, wine, sweets, and smokes festival. Now, this is not an SCV event, but this is a group that has rented our property. You know, we rent out our property for special events. It's a money maker for us, but that will be going on June the 28th. And I believe that the headquarters, Elm Springs and et cetera, will be open then. Then July the 26th, we've got a big event to be held. Now, I'm just looking at this. I'm getting a little bit off here. On July the 26th is our national reunion. I believe that is correct. Yes. So the reunion. Now, if if you haven't already seen it, look in your Confederate Veteran on page 26. There's a series of ads, full page ads, that'll give you the total breakdown on what's happening in at the event, how to register, the events that's going on. You can look. Their website is www.scv130.com. It's the 130th now reunion of the Sons of Confederate Veterans. We've been around quite a while, folks. It's not just, I know you look at Ron and myself and you think that we've been around that long, but Ron and I don't think we've been in the organization since about 85. So that's really only about 30 to 40 years. This organization has been around for quite a while. And with the help of our members and the things that we are doing, this organization will be around in another 130 years. And people will be talking about us and how the things that we did to save our heritage when it was under attack way back then. I have on May the 3rd, I overlooked this. May the 3rd, we have the opening. Nope. Let me back up here. We've got Stone Mountain. Well, we got the pilgrimage on the 3rd. I'm looking at Stone Mountain. Yeah. On April the 19th. That's what I overlooked. I'm sorry. The Army of Tennessee has their annual Stone Mountain event. I call it a pilgrimage. It's like a homecoming pilgrimage. I'll be speaking there. There will be events, food. This is an event that every SCV member should attempt at some point in their life to go to. And this year would be a great time to go. We need to fill that park up with Southern people, pro-Confederate people, and let the establishment know that we care about Stone Mountain. Folks, the enemy, the neo-Marxists, they are doing their damnedest to get rid of Stone Mountain. They see that as a big feather in their cap. We, on the other hand, we've got to put pressure, counter pressure, so that the legislature in Georgia and the people who run that park understand that the sons of Confederate veterans, the daughters of the Confederacy, Southerners in general, and even people outside of the South, they want to see that monument and that park as it originally was intended. So let's be sure we get that all done. Now, one more time, July the 26th, our national reunion in Houston. Michael Hurley and the Texas boys are doing a great job lining things up. Go to their website. You can go to the Confederate Veteran on page 26 on the current issue of the Confederate Veteran. Take a look at the information there. If you haven't already registered, please register. Register now and get your hotel rooms. This is going to be a great event, and I'm looking forward to being in the great sovereign state of Texas, the Republic of Texas, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of y'all there. So that's what we've got coming up. Now, I'm probably overlooked something. Does anybody else, Commander Griffin, do you have anything in your neighborhood that we need to hear about?
Coming up, just our convention.
When is that?
11th and 12th weekend coming up here.
Okay.
And then, of course, I'll be in Kentucky in May. I think you're going to that one too, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
And Florida convention, they don't know it yet, but I've already got my hotel booked down there for them.
Good.
So, then Houston.
All right. Moose, when is Mississippi having their division meeting?
We always have it the weekend after Jefferson Davis's birthday, so June 7th and 8th.
Okay. And Ron, do you recall when the Louisiana division is having their?
No, I've got it in my calendar, but I don't have it in front. It's sometime in May, as I recall.
Yeah, it's in May, and I think it's the same weekend I'll be in in Missouri,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure about that. But it should be on our website if anybody's interested, and get a hold of us, and we'll be glad to let you know. Okay, how about South Carolina? Anything going on there that you know of that you want to share with us?
We had our convention already, but that's what you're looking for.
Okay. All right. Good enough. Well, I'm going to move right on then because we've got a plate full here, and I see it's already about 10 after the hour. So at this point in time, I hope some of you folks have already seen some of the pictures on Facebook, Instagram, or X, Twitter, our great billboard and our billboard campaign that we are pushing this year. Virginia really got this started as far as I'm concerned. Now, let me clarify that there have been many camps and divisions that have sponsored from time to time billboards. Now, this is not something that Virginia and the Kennedys came up with. The SEB has done. This is a first time we've had a coordinated effort. This is how you leverage your influence, is by making a coordinated attack. Just think of it as attacking an enemy on the hill. If you do it piecemeal, they can knock you back. But if you go all it together to charge them at once, then you have a better chance of having a coordinated attack to overcoming the enemy. And this is what we're trying to do with this event. We're pushing the billboard and the billboard campaign. And as I said, Virginia was the inspiration for this because they had so many several years ago, and Ron and I and Jason Boshears and a couple other people, we were in Virginia, and we saw what they were doing, and we decided we ought to try this on a national level. And speaking of national level and national billboard campaigns, I'm going to throw this to our distinguished Lieutenant Commander and Chief Tony Griffin and let him give us a little update on our billboard campaign.
Oh, thank you, Ron. Many of you,
Ron.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking at his face, and I see yours up here.
Well, the pretty one. Just remember the pretty one.
The one with the beard.
That's the first time that's ever happened.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
But anyway, as you said, a lot of the divisions are showing and camps are showing on their Facebook pages the billboards that have gone up. And as of April 1st, we've had 8 confirmed divisions have at least one billboard up. We have California, Texas, California, and they're proud of it. And their new commander, Mr. Todd, out there. Todd's got a picture of him on there standing out in front of their billboard, and he's all excited about it. As I said, Texas, Louisiana has 8, I think. Texas has 3. Mississippi has 1 that I know of. Alabama, I think, has 3. Florida has 2 or 3. Virginia has 9 up right now. And I heard a rumor today that Tennessee had 4. I'm not sure about that, but I saw Jason pop in on the YouTube channel a little while ago, and if he can confirm that, I'd appreciate that, whether they did or not. But that's 8 and possibly 9 that we know of that have billboards up, and there's no excuse for all the divisions not to, because I was offering $500, and I know here in Virginia we could get a billboard not in a heavily trafficked location, but still on a location where it's going to be seen for less than that amount. So you still have time to get these billboards up, gentlemen. And you can do it through May. This is one of our Virginia ones. This is the Virginia division billboard that's gone up. Keep running with them, Moose. That's, of course, past Commander-in-Chief Paul Gramlin and one of the ones outside of Shreveport. This is our 1st and 10th Brigade billboard in Virginia, just about 7 miles from me, that's gone up at the James River Bridge, and it's going to be getting hundreds of thousands of views a week on that one. Keep going here. I'm not sure. That's one of our billboards up. I'm not sure where that one was. I think there was one more. That may be the California billboard right there. And this is one of the the signs we've had made up in Virginia here get put up. People buy them. The division produced these and the yard signs, and along with the yard signs that National has too, they get put up this month. And also the www.scv-info.org website is now active as of April 1st. It's completely active. Members, people that are interested in joining the SCV can go to that website. It's a launching pad for them to get involved and learn how to get into the SCV. Much easier than just trying to go to our regular website and decipher that. But thanks to Chuck McMichael for getting that launched. And also I'd like to thank everybody that was on this committee, which was Chuck, Bobby Herring down in Louisiana, Paul Graham, and Frank Ernest in Virginia. Thank everybody for their input on these billboards. And again, guys, you still have the opportunity to get help with $500 going for a billboard. You still got the rest of April. You can go into May. Do it. We want these billboards up. We need members. We got a recruiting goal. Commander Kennedy had set a 18-month goal to get us back up to about 35,000 members at our last GEC meeting, and we need to push membership.
Here.
And retention too, guys. Get the people back in that have not paid their dues. So we got to get this going. Let's do it.
Thank you, Commander, and I really appreciate Virginia. Y'all you said 9, and I know Louisiana has at least 6. It may have more. And I think more are coming on, as Commander Griffin has said. Folks, if your division doesn't have one, it's not too late. Go ahead and get one. Even if it's put up next week or the week after, buy it for a month, and you'll still have it out there. We've got yard signs that we'll talk about here in a minute, but right now, let's concentrate on these billboards. Let's get them out. Ron, you and I had a discussion many years ago of a guy named Asa Carter about billboards. Could you just kind of give us a quick little rundown why billboards and what are we going to expect is our return on these billboards?
Well, and of course, I went over this in the Confederate Legion newsletter, but basically, Ace Carter, his pen name is Forrest Carter, and he's the one that did the script for Outlaw Josie Wales. So anybody that had watched that, he also wrote a book, The Education of Little Tree. Great work. But he told us, because Donald and I, we were like 18 years old and really involved in politics, and at the very low, knock on door, handout pamphlet level, and became an understudy to Asa Carter. And he said, look, billboards, don't get too excited about billboards, because they only serve the purpose of getting your name out. You want name recognition. You can't. And he pointed out some of the billboards that the opposition had. They had all kind of slogans and graphics and all kinds. He said that's too busy. You got about 2 to 5 seconds to look at a billboard when you're driving by. So you want to get your name out and how they can contact you. That was before www was a thing, but now it's a lot easier. We used to have to put a phone number down, but it's name recognition. So when you go knock on a door and ask someone, would you vote for Joe Blow, my friend who's running, they'll know who Joe Blow is because they've seen his name out before. So it's name recognition. But the other thing is, it provides enthusiasm to your workers, to your so like our members will see those billboards and they'll get excited. It helps with retention. It helps with the enthusiasm of coming to meetings and participating. And the other thing is, it tells the politicians that, hey, we are a force to be dealt with. And I'll hush up because it's dangerous to give a Kennedy the microphone.
Well, and unfortunately, there's 2 of them here. But no, what Asa said back then applies today. Don't expect to put a billboard in your community and get tens of thousands of new members. But it will make it easier at festivals, at gun shows, at living history events, at speaking engagement. When you're out talking to people, they'll know who you are, and they'll know that you are a legitimate individual from a legitimate organization, and they will have heard about this organization. It's nationwide. Why, they even had billboards in California. I'm going to tell you something. Those guys in California has probably done the Deep South one of the biggest favors by getting that billboard in California, because just think of how people now say, wow, this idea it's everywhere. It must be mainstream. Even in California, they've got SCV billboards up. So the billboard campaign, it will not in and of itself produce large numbers of members. That is just like our radio ads. And in a minute, I'm going to get Harrison to talk about some of our social media stuff. All of that is just one more element in our arsenal, fighting to get people to know who we are, what we believe, and why we are proud, and therefore why they should be proud of their Southern heritage. So this is just one more thing down the road. So whenever you go to a festival and you set up a table, now people in the community, you won't be an unknown entity, and an oddity. You'll be somebody that everybody will begin to know who they are. And as Ron said, politicians see these billboards. Those judges that are so quick to vote against our interests, those mayors and city councilmen and sheriffs, those sheriffs who are not so eager to pursue those people who desecrate our monuments and our cemeteries, when they understand that there's a big movement behind the cemetery and these monuments, and there's people who are activists and they're actively involved, well, those politicians will begin to be more deferential to us and our cause. If you want a judge to vote for you, and he's an elected judge, and he's in a red county, this is how you do that. This is how you make that judge understand if he votes against us, he will have hell to pay, because we're out there. You will not do that by filing another blasted lawsuit and spending $500,000 in somebody else's court. You can do it by putting these signs up, by buying our local 1-minute radio ads and running it in your area, by putting out literature, by getting out amongst the public. Now, Ron didn't mention this, but listen, I think in Mississippi, I think y'all got one sign, do you not? One.
Yes.
All right. Now, does that mean it's in Brandon, Mississippi, which is in the center, but let's say Jackson. Everybody knows where Jackson is. But does that mean somebody up in Cleveland, Mississippi, or down on Biloxi, they can throw up their hands, oh, well, we don't have a sign here? No, you get a picture of that sign, and you take that sign, you put it in an email. And Ron, do we not have some email information about how to get this out? Let me explain what I'm going. I want you to explain that for me. You take this information, a picture, and this letter, and then from your local camp, send it to every one of your elected officials, every one of your people that are even halfway likely to be on our side, to let them know, hey, the Sons of Confederate Veterans has a nationwide effort from California to Virginia, and here in Mississippi, I'm using Mississippi as an example, here in Mississippi, we've got signs up also. Let them know. Now, Ron, I think we have a sample letter in the Confederate Legion newsletter.
Yeah, we've got a sample email. Moose, would you show them how to see it? It's in the Confederate Legion newsletter. You go to scv.org, and once, I think Moose has it.
Yeah.
All right. Now, click on Confederate Legion. Now, scroll down. See Confederate Legion March newsletter. Click on that. Now go down to page 6. Just go on down to page 6. There. Well, a little bit more. Give me a little more page 6 if you can, so we can see it all. Okay, right there. That's it. The first looks like 2/3 of that page is a sample. So this shows you what you can do. What you can do is get a picture, a quick little 4-liner explaining what it is. You do this electronically. As a matter of fact, you can copy the one I've got there. You've got the link, the URL link to our If Walls Could Talk video, and you also have the QR code for it. But you take this and you email it to every potentially friendly elected official in your area. This weekend and next week, I'm going to send to every one of the police jurymen, which would be your board of supervisors and you common law state people, but your county board of supervisors, every one of them who is a potentially friendly. Now, if one of them is Stacey Abrams, I'm not going to send it to her. But, thankfully, we don't have her here. But nonetheless, conservative or moderate elected officials. And I'm also going to send it to all of our state representatives that represent this parish and our state senator that represents this parish. And I'll also send it to the sheriff. So won't cost me anything. Just copy that and send it in and let them know who we are and what we're doing. And if I may, just off of this topic, I see that we have some folks from England in the comment. Bruce, have you been seeing that? I believe
yes,
Derek Edwards from England, he said that they take care of the graves in Liverpool, England. That's a grave of Confederates in Liverpool, England. He also says their museum has the Confederate States flag of the last Confederate States naval ship to come into Liverpool. They've got that.
Wow.
And he's interested in membership. So I don't know if he can be a member, if he has an ancestor. If so, we can find it. If not, he can be a friend and
Absolutely.
still participate in the organization. So, Derek, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right because I speak Southern. I don't speak the King's English. But Derek Edwards, you and your folks, glad to have you on board.
Good. Thank you, Ron, and thank you, Moose. And this is just one way we can leverage what is going on. We can use this system, and like Ron said, you can copy this little on page. What? That's page 6.
Page 6.
yes.
Yeah, just on page, you can copy that, and all you got to do is fill in your camp's name and somebody sign it, and just email it to your elected officials, and also any patriotic group. You know, you can also. This is a veterans organization. This is a veterans effort. Be sure that your VFW, American Legion, or any other civic group such as Ron. What you got?
I just want you won't be able to copy this. It's a PDF, but if you need a copy, send a request to the CIC. What's your SCB CIC email address?
CIC@scb.org.
Just email the commander and tell him to send me a Word copy, and he'll bump it down to me, and I'll send you a Word copy.
That's right. And my email is in the Confederate Veteran, so it is no excuse not to have mine, and Tony's also is right there in every Confederate Veteran in at least 2 places. So, Moose, I appreciate that. Thank you a lot. Now, let's move on to, I want Moose to talk a little bit about our social media effort and what we can do there. I believe you've got your video that I'd like to show. And let's talk to folks about how they can use it. And listen, folks, we're talking about using a video here in your social media. It will not cost the SCB a thing, but we can literally reach probably millions of people. So run that video, Moose.
Yes, sir.
In 1924, the United States Congress, by a unanimous vote, approved the minting of a United States half-dollar coin displaying the images of Confederate Generals Lee and Stonewall Jackson. The words, "Memorial to the Valor of the Soldiers of the South," were proudly displayed on the coin. The U.S. Post Office issued numerous postage stamps honoring the President of the Confederacy and Confederate heroes. United States ships, tanks, and military bases were named in honor of Confederate veterans. The Sons of Confederate Veterans are dedicated to honoring all America's veterans, including Confederate veterans. The Sons of Confederate Veterans proudly salutes all of America's veterans. To learn more about the South's noble heritage and the Sons of Confederate Veterans, visit scv.org. That's scv.org.
Great. Now, Moose, what can folks do with this video?
Well, Commander, one of the easiest things to do, and something I highly encourage everybody to do, is to share it out. There are multiple places you can get this to share it out now. So as people can see on the screen, the Sons of Confederate Veterans now have a YouTube page for these videos. So you can go find it on YouTube. If you're having trouble finding it, it is also on the SCV Chat homepage, scvchat.com. And then, of course, SCV Chat will be sharing it out. This will be can be a massive push. Just one video can reach hundreds of thousands of people very easily. So what we need people to do is when this video is live now, to go click the share button, and it's that simple. Copy that. And then you can share it on Twitter, on Facebook. If you want to do a screenshot and post it on Instagram, you can share a link on Instagram that way. There are multiple ways to share it. And I'll actually be talking to Commander Kennedy, see if I can figure out a couple more ways for people to share it after the show. Right. So hopefully stay tuned. We'll try to give you more ways to push this out.
Great. Thank you, Harrison. And this I cannot overemphasize how important this is. And I want to give a big shout out to Harrison. I've been pushing him to make these videos. I don't know how. Ron doesn't know how. And if he don't know how, I don't know how. We have to get somebody young and smart to do this. So we buttonhole Harrison Daws. He and his father are just great at both making these and doing the audio voiceover. And the Confederate Legion has every other month an emphasis or push on a certain idea. We have radio ads, and we're getting just like this. What you heard then, you see on this video, is a radio. It's a 1-minute radio ad. So your camp can buy $100, $200, $300, $400 worth of 1-minute ads and run it this month in your local community. That's going to cost you money. But if you have every member in your camp download this, share this video, you can reach hundreds and maybe even thousands of people in your area, and it won't cost you a penny. All it's got is just going to take a little effort. I've already shared this video on my Facebook account, and I've already got lots of hits on it. People are seeing it, and I'm asking people to share it. I believe Paul Graham has said that he's already sharing some of our stuff from the SCV on the Shotwell page. So, and that is a big web page there, Shotwell Publishing, the publisher of those wonderful books like The South Was Right. Is that just rank advertising for both Shotwell and the Kennedys? I'm so sorry. But anyway, you see, if we all work together, and listen, let's just say Jim Johnson here in the SCV, he doesn't have a web page. He doesn't have social media, but his daughter or his son or his daughter-in-law or son-in-law, his grandchildren, they do. All you got to do is say, hey, look, do Papa a favor. Put this on your media and let people see what we're about. You'll get this out into a group of people that have never seen it before. This is how we make ourselves known in the community. And it's simple. And, you know, if you using the social media, it doesn't really cost. It costs you a little time and a little effort. We also have the Confederate Legion has these 1-minute ads. We definitely want you to look into the various divisions and various camps. Look into buying some of these. I know in Virginia, we partnered with a group in, I forget which one. I think it's in Southeast Virginia. And they are running $1,500 worth of ads in their area. This, what you just heard, is the audio portion of that video. They're running those ads right as we speak. And they got them on 3 stations. They're running on 3 different stations 3 or 4 times a day. And they'll be doing it the complete month of April. Hey, look, this is how you get people to recognize who we are. And getting back to those judges that keep judging against us, most of them, and I don't know about all the states, but most of the states in the South, your local judges are elected. If they're elected, they're going to put their finger in their mouth, wet that finger, and see which way the wind's blowing. I don't care what you say. Judges are human. And if they know that in their county, which voted 60 to 80% for a strong conservative candidate in the last presidential election, they know how the people basically feel, and they don't want the people to get mad at them because they're siding up with Black Lives Matter and Antifa and that group. So
I believe we've lost him. Gentlemen.
I think we lost him, and I tell you what, I'm gonna take, because he was pontificating. We need to move. We were at 7:37. Were you planning on doing a Pop-Tart break?
Let me get one set up. It'll take just 1 second. All right, here we are. All right, we will be right back after this quick Pop-Tart break. Hopefully, give the Commander-in-Chief some time to let his computer reset.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost. Stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
I am so proud of that video, and that video is going to be seen nationally. Now, I got on the phone with the Commander-in-Chief. He said there's a storm going through, but I think he's back online now. So let's see if he's. Can you hear?
Hey, Ron, please take over. I'm on my DSL line. I can see y'all, but it's going to be fading in. My universe is out.
Okay.
So.
Moose, we're going to go to the 21st century, talk about the 21st century, the Forest Plaza. Do you have the photographs of the work and what's going on with the Forest Plaza? Let's put those up right quick.
Yes, sir.
All right. As you all know, the equestrian statute that was delivered to us from Memphis, Tennessee, of Forrest, had some damage to it, and past Commander-in-Chief Jason Brochures has been working overtime, and I just cannot really praise him enough for the work he's been doing on trying to get, I think, 3 bids on doing the metal work to repair that. That's going to be a little bit of money, but that's what we did. That's why we're part of the 21st Century Confederate Heroes, and we're about 80% there to get all the money needed. And so Jason's got somebody, I believe I see, that's Adam, and I believe that's Jason holding the ladder there down on the left there. But and I don't know who that is on top, but that must be the man checking it out to repair it. But you can tell that is a large monument, and it is going to look great once we get it set up. But we got to get the repair work done on it first. It wasn't damaged during the movement. It's just a matter of I think that was. Well, it really is probably over 100 years old now, so it's just natural age needed some work done on it. So we're gonna get that done, and also Jason is working to get bids on getting the plaza itself restored, refurbished, put back together again. We've got a lot of material from the old plaza, and we're going to put it all together, and it's going to be a great celebration when we get that done. Listen, we Donald and I and the chief of Heritage Operation, Paul, we went to the Abbeville Institute to talk about Reconstruction. Do you have those pictures up? It's so important, and this most of you will recognize. Well, you recognize the fellow that's not quite as good looking as me over there with CIC, but that's Dr. Livingston, who was the founder of the Abbeville Institute. Dr. Livingston he and Clyde Wilson, I think, are the 2 greatest living Southern scholars we have. They are Southern treasure. He has done a tremendous amount of work on behalf of the South and the cause of the South, a great academician back when that really meant something. So the SCV and the Abbeville Institute is so important that we network together, that we work together. We don't have to intertwine our resources or anything, but we do. We're all working for the same purpose, very similar with the UDC and other similar type of organizations. Now, one of the speakers there that they had was very interesting. Joya, she was from Kenya. I started saying Nigeria. She's from Kenya and came to, she's a PhD in economics. Very well spoken. I teased her and I said, "You speak proper English. We speak Southern." But she was a speaker there. And the reason they had her there was because she came from Kenya to London, England to study in England, and got involved with the preservation of monuments when the neo-Marxists were trying to destroy monuments of Winston Churchill, et cetera, and she stood up for the monuments. So she was there, and I hope that we can get her. And Paul, you might want to see if you can get a hold of her. I think she'd be a great speaker for us sometime in the near future. But anyway, this is just the importance of us networking and not stay in our little bubble, but reach out among other people. And Jason Brochures, past commander Jason Brochures, has been doing that with organizations, and it has really paid off. As a matter of fact, one of the organizations, and Jason, I'm sorry, I can't remember which one it was, but provided a grant for some of the cabinets we have in the museum. So this networking is so very, very important. Now, also, I want everyone to know that, I don't know who that is.
Yes, that's the President General of the UDC, Julie Hadaway.
That's in South Carolina, right?
Yeah, that's in South Carolina.
Okay, well, that's another good example. A good example of networking. I think Paul's going to talk a little bit about that, so I'm not going to steal his thunder on that. not that the Kennedy would dare steal somebody's thunder, but anyway, plagiarize, never, never, never. But I do want to remind everyone that the 21st Century Confederate Heroes campaign is still ongoing. If your camp hasn't participated, please get busy, get with us. We need probably another 50 to 100. I think Don would probably have enough to complete the Forest Plaza. And
Yes.
remember, we wanted to pay off the debt. We managed to do that with the help, with the help of some big donors who saw that we were serious about getting this debt problem taken care of. We've got rid of the bank mortgage. We're still working on the Brooks Fund, but we owe that to ourselves. It's not something that they can repossess on us. But it's very important, but we got that done. We've got about 80% of the money needed, and I think it's probably going to be about $175,000, $180,000 to get the Forest Plaza back to its pristine condition that it should be. So we need more camps to get involved. Join up with us. We need more individuals. And Donald and I will be calling. Well, first of all, I will be sending out, and Donald as well. Of course, he's on the road a lot, so I'll probably send out more than he will initially. But between now and July, the National Convention, we're going to contact everybody who has given their money or is paying on the 21st Century Confederate Heroes. So I'll send you an email and ask you and tell you that, look, I'll be calling you. When's a good time to call? Because I don't want to call at, if you're like my brother and you go to bed with the chickens, I don't want to call at 7 and wake you up, So I'll ask you when's a good time. I hope that you'll reply to me so I can give you a call. I've got a checklist of things. I'm going to hold this up, not that you can read it, but this is a checklist of 10 different things that we're going to be asking you, and they're all yes or no questions, just to make sure that you've got everything needed in order to get your book, your page in a book of 21st Century Confederate Heroes, to get your PowerPoint slide, if you want that shown at the headquarters museum, and to get your paver information. So, and make sure you've got your certificate and your neck ribbon. But Donald and I want to make sure that everybody that has participated in and are participating in have got everything they need. So it'll all be taken care of. I don't want someone coming up to me at the convention and saying, I sent $100 in and been paying $50 a month, but I haven't gotten anything. Well, no, I've got the list. And if I hadn't got you on the list, please let me know, because there's a problem somewhere. But it's very important. We want to get that taken care of. I believe that's it. I believe that's enough for me.
Ron, can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm on DSL. I'm going to make this quick. I want to thank Jason Brochures. What y'all saw was a gentleman that's doing the first inspection of that monument, of the equestrian statue. We're going to get at least 2 more people to come in and give us a bid on the repair work. Once that bid, we get 3 bids, that goes to the GEC. We'll check on it, and then we'll vote to go with and that's a separate from reconstruction or revamping of the Forest Monument. Forest Plaza. So we got 2 things going on here, and Jason and his committee. Jason is chairman of that committee, the Forest Plaza Restoration Committee. So he is taking care of that. And so anyway, I just want to make sure that he gets full credit and people understand we've got 2 things that we'll be investigating. We've got to get an estimate on the repair work for the Forest Monument, and then an estimation on the restoration of the full plaza. And we let people, we're working on that now. And I think it's going to take Ron more north of 200,000. Now, when we first started out, it was about 100,000, but that was, 150, but that's been several years ago. We're looking at probably more well north of 200,000, but we still got the bulk of that already, plus the 21st Century Confederate Heroes. As we keep getting money in, that is also adding to that. So I'm trusting the good Lord will bless us, and our members will keep joining the 21st Century Confederate Heroes. More camps will join, and we can get things rolling on this. And by this time next year, we'll be having that plaza dedicated. So that is what I'm pushing for. So I'm gonna back off because I never know when this DSL will finally run out. DSL was wonderful when you only had dial up, but now that I have this other system that I don't know if it's going to work well.
Okay, I see our friend from England, Derek Edwards. He wants to know some more information about donating. Derek, if you go to scv.org, click on the Confederate Legion logo, and there's information at the very top banner on 21st Century. Can you pull that up very quickly, Moose?
Yes, sir. Just 1 second. It takes a minute.
Okay, but anyway, I wanted him or anyone else that wants to have information about how or what if they're not familiar with the 21st Century Confederate Heroes, what it is. You don't have to be a member of the SCV. Yeah, click on that. You don't have to be a member of the SCV to be a 21st Century Confederate Heroes. Is the Confederate Legion website not responding?
There we go.
All right, up. Take it all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. That's not there. All right. Join the Legion. There it is. 21st Century Confederate Heroes. You see it at the very top. Okay. So that gives you the idea. You can take that down, Moose. Yeah. So anybody that's interested, they can find out. All right. Now.
Yeah, go ahead with Paul, because we're running out of time here.
I was going to say that next up is the Chief of Heritage Promotion, Paul Graham. What's going on? I understand you and the CIC had a lot of fun in South Carolina legislature. Tell us about it.
We did. Actually, it was, March 18th was Legislation Day, and it's been going on for a few years in South Carolina, but this is by far the biggest one we've had, the largest turnout by far. And it almost got put off because the House members were in committee meetings, but it turned out to be a blessing because that meant that we got to meet directly with the Speaker of the House, Merle Smith, and he addressed us. Of course, we had other people address it, and the purpose was to introduce legislation to strengthen what we call the Heritage Act, to put some teeth into it. And there's a summary, and I'll really quickly read the important part. It expands what it covers, but it's got teeth, and here's the teeth. If you mess with it, to withhold disbursements from local government funds for any county or municipality that violates this section, to provide for the care and preservation of the monuments and memorials by certain people or organizations, to provide standing to certain people or organizations to bring civil action in response to a violation of this section or to prevent such a violation, and to provide for limitations on the transfer of real property under the monument or the memorial, or the transfer of the real property necessary to maintain access or view the monument or memorial. There's more in it, but that's the important part as far as I'm concerned. Of course, we've had John C. Calhoun came down. It was not on private property, but it was on property leased by the city of Charleston. That monument had been standing there for 125 years. And they just knocked down the base and took it away. But this has been introduced. Well, let me go back to us being there. We had a big crowd. We had the Commander-in-Chief of the National Sons of Confederate Veterans. We had the president of the United Daughters of Confederacy there, and just well over 100 people. I'm pretty sure. Well, gauging from the room we were in, we had, I would say, between 100 and 125 people there. And so once we finished meeting with the Speaker of the House, we went to the Senate chambers where we were recognized by Senator Danny Vernon, who's a member of the SCV and has always been a friend of ours down there. And currently, both bills have been put forward and moved to committee. They were introduced in the Senate by Danny Vernon, and in the House by Representative Taylor. And we've already got. I was looking at the legislation right here in front of me, and it looks like we've got not only the sponsor, but a good 25 to 30 co-sponsors on each of these bills, and the support, according to an article that I just read, of the Speaker of the House. So we have a good momentum building to stop small municipalities, or even big ones like Charleston, from shucking and jiving and finding loopholes that aren't in the four corners of the document, moving things or changing names, changing the name of all kinds of stuff, including a school name, a statue of Christopher Columbus, an obelisk. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that they've found ways to get around. But if WIP brings legal standing, they'll have to face us off. Or the American Heritage Association out of Charleston is very involved in this, and this is where I'm getting a lot of the information from. But I'm going to recommend that we do a one-click politic for the South Carolina division to boost this thing and just push it on through. There doesn't seem to be a lot of opposition to it. Of course, there's not a whole lot left of the legislation that we passed in 2000, whenever we had the naval jack flying over the State House. Then we put the historically correct battle flag of the Army of Northern Virginia at the Soldiers Monument. And of course, Dylan Roof appeared out of no one and killed a bunch of people, and we got people use that to conflate him with us and with our fathers, which was a dishonorable thing. And so there's just not much left. And if we're going to keep anything, even though it seems like we got a little reprieve on monuments due to the current political climate, I can promise you these people are not going away. They'll never go away. They can't live without a cause because they don't have a cause.
Hey, Paul, would you mind telling us a little bit? You got a cute little lapel pin on. Tell us a little bit about that, because my internet is back on. I want to try to.
Yes. Those are the new pins for the Confederate Legion.
Good.
And another organization that one can join that does not have, you don't have to be a member of the Sons of Confederate Veterans. It helps fund these things that we're doing right now, as well as the high rollers who are in the Heroes Club. But, for small potatoes like myself, this is something that I can do. And of course, the Confederate Legion works together to get these things done. And we call ourselves the action arm of the SCV, but so anybody who wants to join that, I would highly recommend it. I have plans for the Confederate Legion that I think that you'll like coming up in the near future. But things are happening in South Carolina. We need to get strong legislation passed in obviously all of the states while we have the time to do it. And this time is short, and it will go by very fast.
Okay, I want to kind of make a point here. We're using what Virginia did with the billboards to get something started Confederate-wise. really nationwide now. California's involved. We're looking at what y'all have done in in South Carolina with your legislation, especially if you get this monument protection bill passed. We're going to replicate that across the South. And you mentioned the one-click politics. See, this is something new that the SCV we've never done before. So there's many things that we're doing, and the Confederate Legion it costs $50 a year. If you join now, Ron and myself and Jason Brochures, he has been doing great work with the Confederate Legion. We're looking into every new member or every renewal. We'll send you your lapel pin. We just got to find out.
Yeah, and a certificate as well. And
yes,
we're trying to get this thing It got off track a little bit, but we're getting it back together and trying to keep track of everything better than we previously done. But it's going to be a force to be reckoned with once everything is in place. And you want to be a part of this, I promise you.
Yeah, I want, and we're running out of time, but I want to remind folks on CNN, they were complaining about the election in Georgia, how Georgia had flipped from a blue state to a red state. And they said one of the things that they noticed was that they didn't have more, or they didn't lose necessarily any blue counties. But what happened was the blue counties were not nearly as blue, and the red counties were more red. And one of the reasons is because a lot of people got out there and said, get out the vote. If you'll remember, the Confederate Legion, we put out non-political. We didn't endorse or condemn anybody, but we, as sons of Confederate veterans, encouraged people to get out and be patriots and vote. This was part of the process of getting more people out. And according to CNN, that was one of the reasons why Georgia flipped. And so that just proves what we did in Georgia, Tony, we can do in Virginia, especially if Elon Musk and his crew would get rid of some of that white trash that settled in Northern Virginia from Yankee land. If we get rid of those people and we can get more of our red county people out to vote, we can return Virginia to the fold. And remember, folks, the man who sits in the White House today is there because 58% of his electoral votes came from the South. Half of those votes came from the old Confederacy state, out of the 13 Confederate states, and yes, Missouri and Kentucky were Confederate states. So out of those 12 states, Virginia unfortunately went blue, but the rest of them went red. 50% of the president's electoral votes came from the Confederacy. There's no reason we should be on the losing side any longer. We've got to get busy. We cannot do the old things we used to do and expect new results. We've got to get active. If your division hadn't got on board with things such as the 21st Century Confederate Heroes, with this billboard campaign, with your getting out the vote effort, your one-click politics effort, all these things that we're doing, if your division is not involved, you need to kick some butt and tell people it's time we get busy. There's no reason why Virginia should have 9 billboards up, and little old Louisiana, Cajun Louisiana, have 6, and your division has only 1 or none. And I'm going to tell you, look in my face, folks. Don't come to me begging for the SCV to spend a lot of money fighting in courts if you're not willing to get your division out there and win in the court of public opinion. If your state is not buying ads, these radio ads, if your state is not your division is not involved in putting up these billboards, we've got yard signs. If you're not buying those, if you're not buying radio ads to let the people know who we are and why They should be proud of their Southern heritage. Don't come to me and say, Mr. Commander-in-Chief, we need to spend $500,000 in a court that's to sue and hope that we win something. 99 times out of 100, we don't win a thing. We spend a lot of money and get no recognition for it. People don't know who we are after we spend $500,000. Now, I am serious. Don't come running to me and expect me to say, well, yeah, well, SCV, we're going to spend a lot of money in your town, in your camp, in your division, if you haven't put billboards up, if you don't buy radio ads, if you don't get out in the public, put out these doggone videos. If your camps don't do anything but polish tombstones, meet, eat, and retreat, don't come running to me when you're having problems. I'm sorry, I'm tired, and I'm getting disgusted. We have a fight on our hands, and we have the means of winning for a change. It's time that we get serious about winning. And I know most of you are, but there are a few out there that still hadn't gotten the message. And I hope you get the message now. And one good thing about it, I'm not running for anything any longer. I can tell you exactly how I feel. And with that, Moose, unless y'all have something else to say, I'm ready to go home, get something to eat. I see Tony sitting there shaking his head because he can't say what I just said.
Preach it, Brother Donnie.
Well, I didn't ask for the position to begin with, so I'll say whatever. Yeah, that's good.
Thank you, Moose. Take us out of here. I appreciate everybody watching this. And listen, take this show, share it with your friends, put it on your social media, share this video that Moose made for us on your social media. Don't cost us a penny. And like I said, unless you want to have a commander-in-chief angry, let's get some of this stuff out to the general public in your local areas. Old Carl Jones used to say it so well. He said it very often. He was totally correct. Everything is local. You got to act local. You got to be local. You cannot win from the top down. You got to go from the bottom up. So with that, I think I've said enough, unless somebody else has something else to say. Moose, it's your show, bro.
Hey, I don't know if I could end the show better than that, so I'll just tell everybody good night.
Good night. Thank y'all.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank y'all.